I've only had this Omtech laser a few weeks, but I've already made some pretty cool stuff with it. And the other day I posted a couple of pictures on Facebook group, and one was of a Popeye, and the other one was of a Grinch that I made. And I had a lot of people ask me if I would explain my process, how I laser cut it, how I paint it, and how I get the lines, the paint lines to look so good. So I'm going to be doing a similar project today, and I thought I would shoot a video so that y'all would get a better idea of exactly what I do. But I'll give you a spoiler alert, it's not really that hard. Let's go take a look at the file I'm going to cut in LightBurn.
Okay, I thought since I've already done a Popeye that I would go ahead and for this video I would make his girlfriend Olive Oyl, and so this is the picture I use. So you can see this is the Popeye, just like what I used, and I'm going to be making this today. So the first thing you need to do is to import this picture into LightBurn, and I've already got this brought in and already had to do a little bit of work to it. And I'm not going to talk too much about how to use the trace uh, image function because I'm still new to Lightburn and really not that good at it. So I had to fiddle around with it quite a bit to get it the way I wanted. I'll just refer you to one of the Lightburn videos that do a tutorial on how to use that trace image function, and they do a much better job explaining it than I can. But I will show you what's important to uh, do these kind of projects like I do. One, you want to make sure that uh, if I take a look at the picture, you'll notice that all of the different colors are bordered by some kind of a black, like even this little white down here around. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, or socks or something. It's got black all the way around it. There was something I had to clean up because that didn't make a good trace right there. So I had to clean that up. So you want to have a separate black, a separate skin color, and then a separate white, separate brown, and so on and so forth. So you want to make sure all the colors are basically bordered by black. And so I had to play around and get that done, but this is what I've got. So that when you click on something here, you'll see that what's let me bring it down here where you can see it. This is all that one color. That's going to be the white, the little collar around her neck. If I click right here, you can see that all of this is bordering, and it's all going to be her face, which is the what will be the skin color, and then all these other cutouts that are inside of that are going to be what are going to be black, just like in the picture. And you'll want to be able to save all these little pieces here too. So that's the what I try to do is get it where it's all each color is a separate piece. That way I can paint all of the pieces while they're loose and not butted up to one another. And it makes them real easy to paint because I'm terrible at painting. And I, if I had to paint them right next to each other, I'd have it all sloppy and mixed together. So that's how I do that. Another thing I do is I want a backer board to glue this to. So I'm going to highlight this outline piece. And then I also want to get this piece right here in between her arms. And then I'm going to right click and hit duplicate. And then I'm just going to use my right arrow key to scoot that over, making sure I keep it the same size. And that's what's going to be the backer board. And usually when I cut these, I cut this first because it's a lot easier to cut this first. And then after you've cut this one, set that on top of this one and put the pieces back in. And that way you can pick it up and move it without all the pieces falling out. Okay, one other thing we can do is I'm going to highlight this backer board and put it on a whole nother layer. I'm not sure what that thing is. I usually cut this at 10 millimeters a second, and then I use 30 for the power. So that will be that, and I can turn this one off now, and we can run the preview on this and make sure it's going to run okay, and also get a good idea of how much time it's going to take to do this. Looks like it's going to take 11 minutes and 3 seconds to do this part. And I found that the estimated time in LightBurn is very close to what the actual laser cuts. Usually it takes just a few seconds longer. So we'll check that once we get out there and cut this and see. Once I get that piece cut, I will turn this off here in LightBurn, turn the output and the show off, turn it back on for this other backer, and then I can highlight this and move it right over there, something like that, and then I can cut it. And we can also check the preview of it. And it looks like it's going to take about 3 minutes and 49 seconds or so to do that one. So it's not going to take very long to cut. So now that we got our program all ready, let's head out to the laser and cut this thing. The material that I'm going to use for this project is some 1/4 inch maple plywood that I order from Home Depot, and it's drop shipped from Columbia Forest Products in North Carolina. It comes in a pack of 10 and they measure 12 by 19 inches. I want to run the backer board first, so I'm going to turn off the output and show on everything but the backer board, and then I'll scoot it over and put it inside that framing blank. Now I'll frame it just to make sure that I've got everything in the right place. That looks good, and we're ready to hit start and start burning out the backer board. Okay, the backer board's all done, so I'll pull it out and get ready to cut the other part. I'll set another piece of material in there, and then I'll hit go to origin to bring it back to where I started, and then I can just slide this blank back a little bit and get it lined up, frame it once more, and it looks good. And we'll swap this out and put the one with all the pieces on it, and now we're good to go. Now that that's done, I'll move the gantry back out of the way and very carefully try to pull all this off without losing any of the pieces. I'll no doubt lose a few of them because some of them are so small it's hard to keep them from dropping down through the honeycomb, but I can usually pull the crumb tray out and find the ones that I need. And if not, I can always cut them again.
Okay, I hope I've got the camera situated where you can see this, but I've got all the little pieces removed and I'm getting ready to paint this. This is what I call the frame or the border, and this is the backer, and this will be spray painted black, as well as this piece. I'll be setting those up on some sawhorses and spray painting those black. These are some of the, I don't know what you call them, accent pieces or whatever, but these are all little pieces that need to be black. And just so that I don't blow them all over the place or lose some of them, I have them all stuck to this piece of tape, so I will lightly spray paint that black. And I have gone through, and you have to kind of determine which side is up, because the other side doesn't matter whether you paint it, it's going to be glued. So you want to bring your picture that you're trying to make. I've got the olive oil picture here where I can kind of keep cross-checking that. And then some of these other pieces, these three pieces right here are going to be the red. That's of course the heart and part of her shirt, I guess. You'll see I've got these little containers. In this one I've removed all of the pieces that are going to get brown, and you see you have to be real careful with these because they are pretty delicate. In this one I have some of the white pieces. This is the pieces that are going to be painted with the skin tone or flesh. I don't know what you call it. I think what I use is a peach color of paint. And then I've got a couple of pieces of yellow. I am missing that one piece that goes here, which is an earring, so I'm going to have to go back and cut it, but I'll show that at the end of the thing. So let's spread these out and get started painting. Okay, here you can see that I have all the pieces painted. I've got the black backer board here. This will be glued on like so to the backer board. This is what I call the frame or the border piece, and you see you've got a lot of little tiny thin pieces, so you got to be careful handling that. What I glue this together with is I just use some CA glue, but I do not use any activator spray. If you just use just the CA glue, it still dries pretty quick, so you don't have a whole lot of time, but you do have a little time to try to get it into position and can move it around just a little bit before it dries. So I do it like that, and you can also see that it doesn't take much to hold this together, so I've got a lot of space right here that I can put a bunch of dabs of glue right here. It's a little wide down here by the toe of this boot here, or foot, so I'll put a little dab there, probably another little dab here, and probably some up here where her hair is, just enough to get this to stay and not move around. And then of course, as you add these pieces and glue them in, they fit so snug that you really don't have to worry about anything falling out once you get all this glued in. But the main thing is to try to get this glued on top of here and try to get it where it's not shifted and you know, not lined up. So let me get the glue here, and I'll start putting some dabs here, see if we can get this put on here and get it straight. And like I say, you still have to move fairly quickly and get this thing lined up, and just put just a little pressure on it, and that glue will set up very quickly. Alright, that looks pretty good. And then once you get that glued on to where you've got it into the position you want, now comes the fun part where you start adding in all the colored pieces. So doesn't really matter where you start. One thing I will note too is this was a piece here when I had this painted over here. If the paint drips down, you can see it drip down and it sticks to the paper. So when you go to pick it up, you got to be careful because you could easily break it. You can see how that is barely held on together. So in order for your pieces to not get broke, you have to make sure they're not sticking to the paper or cardboard or whatever you've used as your cover while you're painting these. So watch out for that. So I'm just going to let the camera run, and I'm going to go through here, and I'll probably speed this up, and we'll put all these pieces in, and then we'll take a look at it once I get it all together. Alright, Popeye's got him a girlfriend now. I think the olive oil turned out pretty good. If you'd like to make some cool stuff like this and you haven't got a laser yet, you should check in the description down below and check out the link I have for Omtech laser. I am an affiliate for Omtech laser, and I also have a discount code down there that you can use to get some money off of your complete order. So if you'd like to check out the Omtech lasers, they're an awesome machine. As you can see, you can make some pretty cool stuff, so go check that out. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider doing so. You can hit the little subscribe button down below and make sure you hit the bell too so you get notifications every time I upload a new video. And if you'd like to check out my Laser Distractions live stream, I do that every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's some special content I do for my channel members. You can hit the join button down below and become a channel member, get some perks, and then you also get to see the live, uncut version of the Laser Distractions live stream. So check that out as well. And I guess that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all very much for watching.